Please welcome back Ralph Arlyck. Sam, can you lower the lights on us a little bit? I don't know. I'm seeing a little better from this angle. I don't know if you are, but we'll get started. They'll adjust it a little bit. Let me start by asking. I like it here. I believe in the movie you say, "I love it here." How'd you choose the title, and why not "I love it here"?
Well, I think my wife Elizabeth gave me that title. I guess it was for a long time. The film was called Old Friends, which I think it's an apt title. But I was so concerned that it not be a downer that I guess I thought this was a better title, and maybe in some ways gave a different glimpse of the film.
I think it does. I think it's a very positive title, and it's an attractive title. And it's such a challenge because the movie is on a topic that's that people are not always comfortable talking about. Mm-hmm. It's great, and I think the JCC here especially has found a place for people to be able to talk about these important topics that are so real, and you keep it light, you keep it interesting, you keep it. It's not a downer. The film, which is something that. I'm sure in your marketing of this film, you were trying to find, like, how do we say all these things without it seeming like a downer? So were you conscious in the actual filmmaking to, like, really try to take the more upbeat, I'd say, stories?
No, not in the filming, because you just, you put it together in the editing and it becomes a completely different film than what you think it is while you're shooting. So no, I was not. I mean, I think what any filmmaker knows is that you need characters who are, in some ways, larger than life. And I filmed some friends who were wonderful, but in general, subtlety doesn't play that well in movies.
They got some of them. Yeah. How did it change? How did the film change from what you thought you were doing at first to what it became?
Well, the whole thing is a groping process. So, and editing is largely problem solving. So as you make the film, you have a vague idea of what it's about, but you don't know really what it's about until you start playing with it and moving scenes around and, getting feedback. And one of the great things is working with the editor, Emmett Dotan, and he was a young person and a completely different perspective. So it changes. But there's no eureka moment. There's no where you say, now that's... You gradually discover what it's about as you go through making it.
How long was the whole process? Where did you start in all of this? What was the real beginning?
It was 5 years. It took 5 years to make it, which seems long, but the previous one took 10 years. So this felt like a sprint.
And did it actually start with you? You were going to make a film about your neighbor?
Oh, absolutely, Ernie. Yeah, we started to make the film about Ernie, and then it became apparent that he wasn't having any of it. But I guess it was percolating. The subject of aging was percolating.
So you've been touring with this film. It's been going around to festivals and playing in different places and, of course, reaching audiences. And it's beautiful to see how audiences react to it. Once again, I'm going to say, seeing this together tonight, I had seen this alone, and it's a completely different experience, watching it together, laughing together, crying together. However, that part of it is so crucial. What have you learned since you've made the film from this process of seeing it with audiences and the reactions you're getting from audiences?
Well, I mean, what's easiest to read, obviously, is laughter. And so I had a filmmaker friend who used to tell me that he could sense lots of other things about how an audience was behaving, but I was receiving what you're doing. but that's more elusive for me. I'm not sure. I mean, what you kind of thinking in your own head what's going through the mind of the audiences, but it's laughter that you can read most easily.
Speaking of which, and I already see a hand up, we'll let you ask a few questions and be a part of this conversation. We'll pass a microphone around, and I think right here.
I have to say that your film was very enlightening, because I think about the same things you were saying. And it was very funny the way you not that it's funny, but the way you approached it was making me laugh so hard. But it also enlightened me, because I'm on the same idea, same way. What's your ending? When's your ending? How's your ending? Why does it end like this? You cover all those aspects so well, and I really felt touched by it. And I really feel like I got to know you. I don't even know you. Very, very nice. I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
God bless you.
And it's interesting because you're the person that we probably see least in the movie. It's all from your perspective. Of course, we hear your voice, but it's interesting how yes, we feel that we were getting to know you, even though the movie's mostly about the people around you.
Yeah. Well, I want just to have my voice in your ear. I don't want to be seen. And that was a dilemma, because somebody else shot all the scenes of Ernie. And in the last scene, I had to be in it. There was no way of cutting myself out. But generally, I don't. I want you to be seeing it and hearing it through my voice.
It's a beautiful film, and I think it's a beautifully written film. I'm not sure whether I don't know the vocabulary of filmmaking as far as the script or the voiceover, but I'm curious. The push me pull you between writing the film and filming it. In the process of editing it, did you find, was it a more dominant mode of finding the words to accommodate what you had filmed, or did you find that the script often dictated the images that you then presented? Which was cart and which was horse, or does it just go back and forth?
Absolutely, it goes back and forth. Each one changes the other one, or creates problems for the other one, or reinforces it. And there's constant rewriting all through it. So it's very hard for me to separate it. I certainly, when I'm shooting, I'm certainly not thinking, I'm not running the narration through my head, but all that comes afterwards. But as you move scenes around, their meaning changes, and so what you have to write about it changes. But I worried that there was, I had a friend who would sometimes say, "This film never shuts up," and I was worried that there's just, my constant, that drone of my voice constantly. So I try to even it out. And
The only drone was at the opening shot.
thank you. That's nice.
It's not the attitude. There are abrasive voiceovers, and I don't think this was that.
Mm-hmm. I have to say, this is a wonderful sound system in here. You can really hear everything. And is John still here? Yes, I should mention John Stone, responsible for most of the music.
We have a question here.
Thank you. It was really beautiful. I had a house in Red Hook, and you're somewhere near Red Hook, right?
That's right. It's the closest, almost the closest town.
It's beautiful, beautiful area, and you captured the beauty of it. I was going to ask, too, about writing. I'm a writer myself, and but your narration was so smooth. Even though it sounds like you had to keep going back at it, it's amazing to me how well it moved along and felt natural, but I know that you have to keep changing it. My other question was, you talk about people that you filmed and friends. Were there any awkward moments of people you had to leave out or had a rough spot with?
Yes. That was really hard because, some of them are quite good friends. And you ask them to take the trouble to do this, and then finally you decide that that's not going to make it. So that's hard. But everybody was very gracious and I think understood.
Thank you, Ralph. I just wanted to tell you that in between the laughters, which you can hear, were wonderful smiles. I think it was so tender and so inviting to be involved. So thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.
You could pass it to the woman on your left.
I'm curious about the reaction of people of different ages. I'm your age, and my daughter is starting to make sure I don't climb on ladders. And my grandchildren are, older than your grandchildren, I think. But I just wonder what the different age groups think of this film. Your kids, their kids, friends who are younger.
Well, I'm going to find out. I mean, every filmmaker says, my film is for everyone. But it's been brought home to me that that's not a marketing plan. So obviously the chief target audience for this is people my age, and I hope
I think it should target younger people who want to understand older people. I think that's a good target.
Yeah, except in trying to get a film out, you have to, the young people is not. It's not it's a demographic, but it's too huge to target. So, my hope is to cut a shorter version of this and to show it in senior venues. But I don't yet know, it's sort of schizoid because right now the film hopefully might play in some art houses theatrically or on TV. So now it's kind of a, quote, art film, but to be used as a discussion starter, it's going to have to be shorter. So I'll have to lose a third of it probably. But I think, I hope that it can get to a lot of younger people, but that's not what I want to do with the film. That's not how the film will be used, because a film like this has to be, if it has any way of sustaining, it has to be usable in some way.
I will add that I do think that for a younger audience, it's actually, it's not about them, and it's something, it's useful tips for life to kind of like how to get to that place. And we will all hopefully grow older, and I think that really opens it to an audience that's really anyone who's interested in life and anyone who's interested in the transitions that humans go through.
Yeah.
We're going to take two last. I see one up there, and then we'll take one over here.
Yeah, I'm in the same position or similar position. Nobody follows me on ladders yet, but I'm sure they will soon. My question is, having made this film, has your thinking or feeling about aging and passing away changed?
I'm not sure. One of the things that, when I watch it, one of the scenes that feels particularly strong and pregnant for me is the spinning dial because I find myself increasingly thinking like it can come from anywhere. Who knows? Something is probably going to hit. So I think about that a lot. But I don't know, I think is the fundamental question. I don't know if I've learned anything for it. It's not making a film, even though I'm groping through it and trying to figure out what it's about, it's not essentially a learning experience. It's a way of, you're trying to communicate something. So I'm not sure what I've learned.
We got one more over here.
Here, I'll
We'll
pass
just give you the mic.
microphone.
Thank you.
I was going to yell. I'm wondering how one would see it again now.
Say again?
I'd like to know how one would see it again.
Uh-huh.
How does everyone tell their friends about this?
Well,
Well, I'm not worried about my friends. I want to see it.
Then you've learned nothing from this movie.
I mean, I still don't know if this film can have any theatrical life. Well, you can say that, but it's tough out there, really, because you're competing with fiction films, you're competing with documentaries about sensational subjects or celebrities, and as Isaac mentioned, people are not going to the movies, so the theaters are hurting, and some of them are folding. But you can't. Well, yeah, stream. Yeah, but there's an order to these things. Like you can't stream it. You have to. If it's going to be in theaters, it has to be in theaters first. So it eventually will stream. And if you give me your name or your card when it streams, I'll definitely let you know.
And when it streams, let us know, and we'll let everybody know, because everybody should be seeing this film. I mean it. Ralph, I want to thank you so much for bringing us here.
Thank you.
I want to give a big shout out to the Wexler Center for Modern Aging here at the JCC, who also partnered with us on this and are a wonderful part of our audiences every week. And I'm excited that some of you got to meet beforehand here, and hopefully are even creating closer bonds right now. Thank you so much. Thank you, folks, for being here. Get home, stay warm, have a good night.
Thank you.